Hey, this is Nanchong. Today I'll be introducing a BT8 format Alpha Ouryu X-Antibody deck. Let's get right into it. First step, let's do a general analysis on the strength and weakness of the deck. For the strength of the deck, establishing a level 6 Digimon with multiple sources underneath and different inherited effects can be concentrated in that single Digimon. If your opponent's deck have no solution for it or not seeing it in hand, it'll be a big problem for them. And some effects in this deck can protect your Digimon from being removed on board. When playing against some matchups, you can promote the Digimon earlier to give pressure and gain value, while your opponent cannot remove it easily. It has a high lethal range and is a big threat to security. With fewer level 7 Digimons will be played in decks, as long as the main hybrid meta will be fading out, the Alpha Ouryu combo has a higher lethality when Ice Wall is already limited to 1, and is less likely to hard break. There are many cards that can search pieces to get back into the temple without losing much value. And for the weakness, some strong security options can stop the combo and remove the whole stack of Digimon. It can be devastating. And the most popular one in BT8 format would be Mega Death, which can be normally seen in Imperiumon or Armor Rush decks. So this deck doesn't have extremely high consistency because it takes the risk of attacking security. And if you promote the Digimon and Digivolve into a big level 6 Digimon, do something in past turn, your opponents can remove it by some ways. It can cause big loss in value and being behind in the temple because you invested most on that single Digimon. And in this variant, there is no strong instant removal, so if you're breaking but your opponent has already built a high level Digimon, it'll be a problem to this deck. Okay, let's take a look on the cards. So for level 2, we have 4 Doraemons. Doraemon has an insane draw power. If the Digimon exists on the board for some turns and you keep placing Digivolution cards under it, then Doraemon's impact can be huge. Also, it can help you to draw key cards in clutch turns, so only 4 Doraemons. For level 3, we have 4 Doraemons. Doraemon's inherited effect is so good. It can gain the memory to choke your opponent, and the harder you choke, the lower probability your opponent can remove your Digimon. Because apart from the instant removal cards or control cards, many of the decks use Digimon effects to remove opponent's Digimon. If you can successfully choke them and they don't have enough memory to do the removal, your Digimon lives and you can trigger Doraemon again next turn. So the memory gap between you and your opponent can be enlarged from turn by turn. Also, it has the unplay effect, so this card is the best rookie in this deck, no doubt. And then we have 4 Ryudamon. Ryudamon has a similar on-play effect to Doraemon, but it searches X-Antibody and Yuji. Yuji is the key Tamer in this deck, so is good. Also, its inherited effect can gain Decoy, which sometimes can protect your other main Digimon and avoid losing much value. And then we have 4 Tsunerazamon. Both effects of Tsunerazamon are useful, but mainly is the inherited effects. Gaining security check can make the lethal range higher, and if you use Alphamon to gain DP and reach 13k, we stand with Ouryumon's effect and being able to swing again. Tsunerazer's effect alone does 2 more potential security checks. For level 4, we have 2 Grumblemons. Nothing special, mostly just hybrid for game. But in some extreme cases, it also allows you to go into Hishiyarumon and instantly swing for making some plays if you have enough memory but don't have any Digimon that can attack. The number of 2 to 3 hybrids is good because of the 3 counts of Coda. The other Tamer Yuji taps, but Coda doesn't. So normally in the final turn, we just need the hybrid that are not more than the number of Coda on the board. And because of the value of playing the second Coda is not high, just like Davis, so is less likely to see many on the field. So there are only 2 hybrids here to give more spots for others. And then we have 4 Dorugumons here. It can be a blocker, and the inherited effect also gains the Digimon 1 KDP if it's X-Antibody. A pretty stable choice for level 4. And then we have 4 Ginrymon here. First thing is 6 KDP, so it can swing over some armors like Flame Dramon or Light Dramon, and it can prevent easy DNA Digivolution next turn. And also, the inherited is useful for making some big Digimon a blocker to block some key attacks. For level 5, we play 4 Dorugreymons. Digivolving into it can negate the deletion effect or DP reduction until the end of your opponent's next turn, which can be useful in certain matchups such as red, yellow, purple, and black. With this effect, you may promote the Digimon and start doing things on the field and giving your opponent pressure, but also keeping it safe. And next turn, there will be a new egg hatched, so you can Digivolve into a new Digimon. And its inherited effect also gives you higher lethality, so that's why this card is very good. And then we have 4 Hyzyarymons. The top effect allows you to synergize with other cards and make plays, which can be very clutch. For example, you can attack to trigger Yuji, place an Ouryumon under the stack and triggering the effect to Digivolve into an Alphamon with 2 memory. Even you are at 0 memory and then paid 2, if Alphamon is alive after the attack, you can go back to 0 and it restands. So you can continue your turn. Another thing is you can also play an Ezeryojin to trigger it. Go into Ouryumon to delete a rookie and also a big Digimon. Also, the inherited reboot makes it safe from being swung over to have a better sustainability. Plus, it has 8 KDP. That means it can kill most of the DNA level 5 insecurity. A great card in this deck, so we are playing 4. For level 6, we have 3 Alphamons. Alphamon is the key card in this deck. First thing, the security effect may sometimes save the game, and with the flexibility of the DP gain, it has a good adaptation to different matchups. And the memory gain is also helpful if there's a hammer spark in security or even you're attacking under an ice wall. We have only 1 Dorugreymon. In this variant, Dorugreymon is in the main level 6, so having 1 in the deck is for sometimes board clear is needed. And it also has an OTK potential with the security attack gains. And we have 3 Ouryumons. The Alpha Ouryu combo is too powerful, and the more times Alphamon attacks and restands, the more memory can be gained from his effect. Ouryumon itself has a decent removal ability, for example to stop hybrid decks to Digivolve their level 5 to level 6 next turn. But it's not that good because most of the DNA level 5 are 8 play costs. The DP gaining and deleting effect negation can be huge if it has blocker and reboot inherited effects. It's very hard for your opponent's big boy to go through it. Moving on to Tamers, we have 3 Kodomodo. Memory Tamer is always good, and searching top 4 helps a lot when missing pieces. And then we have 4 Yuji Mushia. First thing, it gives you extra memory and draws for you to make some plays after promoting, giving you some burst power. Also, the second effect is very important to this deck. It's the key effect when doing the Alpha Ouryu combo, or sometimes synergize with Hyzyarymon, or even just placing Dorumon under the stack to gain memory and choke. Many different utilities with Yuji. And with more Yuji you can have on the field, maybe some are come from security, you have more potential to do an OTK. Playing 4 in this deck is nice. And for our options, we have 3 black memory boosts. Since this deck is playing around combos, being able to search the specific pieces and get some memory back later is very good. Also, it's a dangerous thing to get hit from security, making your opponent harder to choke and limit your play in the next turn. And then we have 1 Breath of the Gods. The main effect works very well when you want to protect your big boy from hitting things like Megadeth, Wyvern's Breath, so your attack can keep going. Or you can also play it to survive the next turn. And the security effect is just too good. Life-saving. and more breadth can be played for specific matchups such as Digimon or Yellow Hybrid. Ouryu in 2. It has multiple effects and is good when dealing with armors. Also, you can synergize it with other cards like Doraemon and Hizarumon. And then we got some tech cards here for you to adjust the list. First, we have Chumon, Memory Blocker. Is specifically good against blue matchups, but need to be aware of the ways that they can remove it, such as some armors or Paildramon. Then we have Chikurimon here. It can break the combo your opponent is trying to do, and you don't need to sacrifice something big for playing this in your deck. And then we have Cyclomon. You may need this if you expect there will be many decks using memory blockers. It has a very straightforward deletion effect and not once per turn, so you can just swing with your Digimon using its effect to pop a memory blocker and then go back to your combo. Also, you can pop something like Vmon and slower their aggression. Pretty useful but situational. And then we have Chaosmon here. It has been a while for not seeing this card. This deck doesn't have very strong and consistent removal for high level Digimon. So Chaosmon is a way that allows you to instantly kill a big Digimon, but also pierce the security if you already got a level 6 Digimon. But one thing is, because it's white color, so it cannot be the target of Yuji or Ouryu. Also cannot synergize with Ryudamon's decoy. And Metal Cannon here. The reason why it's here is because it's embarrassing that when you're in the middle of the combo, but just missing 1 to 2 pieces for the OTK. So this card can draw over 5 cards with just 2 memory, and probably be able to find the cards you want afterwards. And then we have Brave Metal. This card is very situational. It only has max effect when you have a big stack on the field. With fewer level 7 Digimon being played in most of the decks, the importance of this card is low. You can consider it if there are many decks using things like Digimon Paladin mode. Overall, I think this deck will be pretty strong and fun to play in BT8 format, and it's very flexible on the number of level 6, Alphamon, Ouryumon, and Dorugoromon. You can focus on the Alpha Ouryu, you can focus on Dorugora, or just put them evenly in the deck. It'll also be very good. Hope you guys like it, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.